Hey Richard, welcome to the 2019 OEC golf event. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through. We'll put you back in your dress position, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. Okay, so while we got you back here in your dress position, the first thing that we want to take a look at, actually let's just go ahead and do a little split screen comparison between you and Brooke Henderson. Clear those two things off the screen. Slide you over just a hair here. There we go. Okay, so I mean, from a setup standpoint, what are we looking at? Well, we want to have our feet running parallel to our target line. We want to have the golf ball forward in our stance. Very important, we want to establish a spinal position that works away from the target, so not straight up and down. That'll allow the shoulders to get on a decent incline with the left shoulder higher than the right, especially considering the right hand's lower on the golf club. We want to create a nice triangular formation where the hands come down and meet just left of our center. And then we want the golf club to be angled back a little with a wood. So with an iron, because the ball is going to be a little bit back of center, the iron's going to work a little bit more in that kind of direction. So the grip is going to lean forward of the club head, whereas with a wood, the grip is going to be a little bit sort of working behind the club head. So when we think about an angle of attack and hitting a ball, when we think of the yellow line as the iron, that shaft angle allows us to hit down, trap the ball, and take a divot. Whereas the blue line allows us to swing a little bit more up and sweep the ball off the ground or the tee. So very important to have the golf club itself, an iron versus a wood, setting up geometrically correctly, or how the golf club is engineered. If we go ahead and take a look at the right side of the screen for you, first thing we can see is that your feet are aiming way too far left. You're too open. Your ball location relative to your alignment is also a little bit too far back away from your front heel. So you can move that a little bit more forward. I mean, looking from here, it looks like the ball position's up off your front side, but based on your alignment, it's not, because ball position is relative to 90 degrees to the alignment, and that's why I'm putting that first line like this. So your ball's a little too far back based on your aim. Next thing we want to observe is your spinal tilt. So you do a pretty good job here leaning your spine away from the target. You get your shoulders into a decent incline. Your arms come down so your hands are just left of your center. And you're working the golf club down to the ball so it's in its proper engineered state. So that looks really, really good. And your stance width is pretty solid as well. You could probably be a little wider with your right foot. So overall, your setup looks really, really good. The only problem is we're not aiming in the right direction. Okay? At this point in time, when we take a look at the golf swing, let's just go ahead and put a lineup on our head here. Another line just on the outside of the right leg. And let's go ahead and take a look at the golf swing. So in Brooke Henderson's case, as she draws the golf club back, she creates good, strong shoulder rotation, excellent arm extension, and she maintains the stability in her right leg. At this point in time, we want to look at the relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club, and we're starting to achieve some good wrist hinge. Let's go ahead and watch you take the golf club back to this point. You draw your hands back very, very nicely, but there's a lot of lateral motion. So your right leg is breaking through that line, and your head is moving way too far off of center. It's allowed to move a little bit back, but it just can't move that far. Nice thing is you're creating good wrist hinge between the golf shaft and the lead forearm. So that looks pretty good. As we go ahead and continue this golf swing up to the top, all we want to do now is complete our shoulder rotation about that stable right axis and increase the wrist hinge. And that's exactly what we see here with Brooke Henderson. So look how acute it's become between the shaft of the club and the lead forearm. Look at that rotation, and that rotation is all conducted about a very stable right leg. Let's have you go to the top of your backswing. When you finally get to the top of your backswing, you do create an acuteness between the golf club and your forearm, so you're going to be able to create some power through the wrist hinge that you created. You do have shoulder rotation, but you do have a lot of lateral motion. Your head moves way off of center, and your lower right side breaks through your pivotal point. Ultimately, what we're looking for with the lower right leg is if I draw a line up from the outside of her right foot, we should be creating this power V. You're busting through that power V. So there's just too much lateral motion, okay? We also see that your arms break down so you don't maintain your arm extension. So 4 things we need when we load a golf club from this vantage point. We create good rotation off a stable right side, we create wrist hinge, and we maintain arm extension. You're getting pretty good wrist hinge, pretty good turn, you're not maintaining your stability on your lower right side, and you're not maintaining your arm extension. Okay? As we go ahead and create our downswing here, let's go ahead and get rid of those lines we just drew up and keep the original 4. Just take a second for those lines to disappear. Okay, so as we go ahead and start our downswing, we simply now want to drive our weight from our right foot to our left. We want to fire our knees and our hips to the target, creating a lateral motion to the target, even moving our core and our head back to the line if it did move back, whereas hers did move ever so slightly back in behind that line. So we want to create that movement to the target. We want to unwind our core and fire our hands. And in doing so, we want to make sure we make that move to impact and post up strong onto our left leg. And what we can see here with Brooke Henderson at point of impact, she's really posted up nice and strong onto that left side. Her weight's moving onto her left foot, even though she's getting airborne because of that explosion to her left side. The right heel's coming off the ground, making the weight move left. But the one thing I want you to notice, as everything is driving in this direction, there's one thing that moves back, and it's her head. That head was on the red line. It's now moved back to yellow. So that allows the whiplash to go through the golf ball, to allow the power to go through, and it's what I refer to as action-reaction in a golf swing from this vantage point. Let's go ahead and watch you create your transition back into the ball here. So good movement back to your left foot. Feet, knees, hips drive into the target. Heads move back towards where it originally started a bit. And then let's watch your head as your hands go through. Head moves back. It's awesome. Let's see how you do with your right foot. See if you get off your right heel through impact. So you're flat-footed with your right foot. Again, notice with Brooke Henderson and the right heel's off the ground. Watch the continued activity of her right foot through to her finish. That right heel fully comes off the ground onto the toe of the right foot. That gets her weight to her left side, allows her to square up and square around. Let's see if you create any footwork at all through the finish. And we don't. So one of the things you definitely want to do in your golf swing is you definitely want to learn how to create proper footwork through to the finish. As you fire your hands through, get your right heel to come up off the ground, get up on the toe of your right foot, and that'll get your weight to your left side so you're not falling back. Overall, we got some great athletic qualities with respect to your hands. Your hands come back, they fire through great. You got pretty decent coil, uncoil. Your upper body wants to get to a finish, but it really can't because the lower body's not helping it. And at that point in time, as we've already pointed out, we do need to structure a golf swing from face on that achieves those power Vs, the stability in the right leg, the rotation, and not creating so much lateral motion. But your athletic move back to impact looks really good. I just really like to see you create better footwork coming into impact and moving through to the finish. Okay? Anyways, if at any point in time you ever want to work on any of these aspects, certainly feel free to reach out. I teach over at Glen Abbey, obviously where the event was held. Be happy to structure a program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments and all, and you guys are looking for a unique gift to provide to your guests, be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. Anyways, I hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing from this vantage point this year, and hope you enjoy the rest of the fall.